one's asking why. The world keeps spinning, no one seems to care. Lost in the noise, a silent prayer. Does anyone out there even hear the cry? I'm just a voice in the wind, but I'll keep on screaming 'cause someone's missing. I won't stop dreaming.
Hi, thank you for joining me today. You could be anywhere, but you chose to be here, and I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, I'm just going to jump on into this. Let's go ahead and get started. Here we have Donald Richard Cohen. Donald Richard Cohen's been missing since 12/21/1982 from Las Vegas, Nevada. He's an endangered missing male. He's white, 40 years old, 5'10", and weighs 170 pounds. His distinguishing characteristics are that he's a white male, brown hair, hazel eyes. His count says Cohen had a brown mustache at the time of his disappearance. He has scars on both sides of his abdomen. Now, he was last seen in Las Vegas, Nevada on December 21st, 1982. He left home, never returned, and has never been heard from again. Little information is available in this case, but the prime suspect in Cohen's disappearance is David Dale Morgan. Now, David Dale Morgan is a former business associate of his. A photograph of David was posted with his case summary, which is now deleted, but he is believed to be responsible not only for Cohen's disappearance, but for also the disappearances of others, like Gabriel Vincent, who had an affair with David's wife, Marie, and was blackmailing David when he disappeared in 1979. Marie herself had been missing in 1980, and David's girlfriend, Diane Leone, had been missing since 2000. In 2007, David was arrested and charged with Vincent's murder. The case was reopened after a witness told police that he witnessed David murder Vincent, but he also helped dispose of the body. The murder case against David was dropped in 2012. However, because the witness had died and the prosecutors couldn't prove David's guilt without his testimony, Cohen, Marie, and Leone's case remain unsolved today, and charges have not been filed against anyone in connection with their disappearance. But David is considered to be the prime suspect in their case, as well as Vincent. Wow. My goodness. Next, we have Mark Donald Ramin. He's been missing since January 18th, 2002, from New York. He's an endangered missing male. He's white. His date of birth is 7/4/1961. He's 64 years old now. He was 40 years old at the time of his disappearance. He was 5'5" at that time and weighed 135 pounds. Now, he was wearing a tan jacket, a green golf shirt, blue jeans, and light green sneakers. His distinguishing characteristics are that he's a white male, brown hair, hazel eyes. The tip of his right middle finger was cut off in an accident prior to his disappearance. He wears gold-rimmed glasses. Now, the details of his disappearance. He was last seen between 9:30 and 10 p.m. on January 18th, 2002 in Ithaca, New York. He was at the Pyramid Mall on the North Tipampa Road off of Route 13 near Lansing, New York at that time. He had been laid off from his place of employment inside the shopping center earlier in January 2002. Now, he was attempting to obtain a new position at that mall when he did go missing. Authorities believe that he was walking to his residence on Winthrop Drive in Ithaca prior to his disappearance, but never arrived home and has not been heard from again. Now, he was missed a day after his disappearance by his brother who lived with him. Now, his brother called the mother to say that he hadn't returned home, but his mom, also concerned, reported him missing to law enforcement authorities. An extensive search of the region produced no clues of his whereabouts. He may have been seen in a wooded area near his residence the day after his disappearance, but that sighting has never been confirmed. He is considered to be a very dependable person with strong family connections and who would never leave and disappear involuntarily. His credit cards and bank accounts have not been used since his disappearance. His family members said it's uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. Authorities stated there is very little evidence available to indicate what could have happened to him, and his case also remains unsolved. This is Larry Dean Hill. Larry Dean Hill has been missing since 5/24/1980. Now he's missing from Boonville County, Idaho. His classification is lost, injured, or missing. He is male, white. His date of birth is 4/10/1942. He would be 83 years old today, but he was 38 years old when he went missing. He was 5'11" to 6'1" at that time and weighed around 170 to 180 pounds. Now, the clothing that he had on, they say here, is hip waders. His associated vehicle is a 14-foot aluminum boat accounted for, so they did find the boat. His distinguishing characteristics are that he's a white male, black hair, and brown eyes. The details of his disappearance. Larry disappeared with his son Rex Hill and two others, Laddie and Laddie's daughter Tony, from Boonville County, Idaho, on May 24th, 1980. They were on a 14-foot aluminum boat out of the Palisades Reservoir with four other people when the boat capsized, and 100 yards from the shore, they could. I'm sorry, let me start over. I apologize. The boat had capsized about 100 yards from shore, just south of Big Elk Creek. The water was 120 feet deep. The weather was bad, and the surface water temperature was only 51 degrees. Four of the passengers were rescued, but Rex, Larry, Laddie, and Tony disappeared and could not be found despite extensive search efforts. They are presumed drowned, but there is no proof that they are deceased. Okay, let's go to the next. We have Amanda Doreen Dean. She's been missing since 7/11/2017. She's missing from Collins, Ohio. She's an endangered missing female. She's white. Her date of birth is 2/3/1981. She would be 44 years old today. She was 36 years old when she went missing. Her height and weight is she was 5'7" and 134 pounds at that time. She's a white female, blonde hair, green eyes. Dean's ears are pierced, and she has a tattoo on her chest. Dean was last seen on July 11th in Collins, Ohio. She was being abused by her live-in boyfriend, Frederick Rear, at the time of her disappearance and told her sister she had planned to leave him. Now she left behind four sons, and those four sons have never been heard from. Have never heard from her again. Her family reported her missing that same month, and the Huron County Sheriff's Office looked into the case. Less than 24 hours later, Sheriff Todd Corbin declared it closed after the department got word that Dean was alive and well and staying in an unspecified domestic violence shelter, and that she didn't want to go home. Now, Dean never resurfaced. However, she was supposed to appear as a witness in a felony trial in South Carolina for a man who had been charged with domestic violence and sexual assault, but she never showed up for that. Now, her family never heard from her again, and they don't think that she would have been gone this long without contacting them. The missing persons case was reopened in 2022. In February of 2024, Ree was indicted for murder, tampering with evidence, and gross abuse of a corpse in Dean's case. A photo of him is posted with the case summary. Now, investigators believe he killed her on the 1700th block of Wells Road on Collins on the day that she was last seen. Then burned a mattress and disposed of bloody sheets before cleaning up the crime. In December 2025, Rear pled guilty to 4 felony charges: involuntary manslaughter, gross abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison, 4 years less than the maximum term that he could have received. Dean's body has never been located, but foul play is suspected due to the circumstances involved. But there is nothing here that proves physically that she is deceased. They are presuming, but she's still considered a missing person. Okay, let's go on to the next. Next, we have Michael Larry Madden. He's been missing since 8/10/1996. He's missing from California. He's an endangered missing male. He's white. His date of birth is January 22nd, 1976. He would be 50 years old today. He was 20 years old when he went missing. He was 6'1" and 195 pounds at that time. He was last seen wearing a t-shirt, shorts, a San Francisco Giants or San Francisco 49ers cap and possibly a wristwatch. Now, his characteristics are that he's a white male, brown hair, hazel eyes, and he has a 3-inch surgical scar on the left side of his collarbone. His nickname is Mike. Madden planned to meet friends at the Sandbar Flat near Sonora, California on August 10th, 1996 for camping and fishing. Now, he left his family's residence at approximately 5 a.m. on that day and left a note for his mom explaining his plans. He brought his dog, Matilda, and his camping and fishing gear with him to the campsite. He had camped and fished at the Sandbar Flat with his father several times. He was very familiar with that area. He had never been seen or heard from again since that day. Madden's friend arrived at the designated location at Sandbar Flat at approximately 2 a.m. on August 12, 1996. There was no sign of Madden or Matilda at the scene, but his gear was found near a freshly made fire. Now, a man identified as Joseph Tyne appeared at the location soon after Madden's friends had arrived. Now, Tyne was carrying a .45 automatic pistol and asked the men who they were and if they were looking for Mikey. Now, Madden had never been addressed by that name. His friends told authorities that Tyne repeatedly cocked his pistol throughout the proceeding of 6 hours as they waited on Madden and Matilda at that campsite. Madden's friend also said that Tyne appeared to be wearing Madden's boots, although that can't be confirmed. Now, Madden was reported missing soon after his friends failed to find him around the campsite. An extensive search pulled up no evidence as to his whereabouts. Matilda did come back to the campsite just 4 days later. She was dehydrated and couldn't lead searchers to Madden. Authorities administered a polygraph test to Tyne 9 months following Madden's disappearance. The results of the exam are still unknown. Tyne has never been charged in connection with Madden's case, and his gun did not have any spent shells at the time Madden had vanished. There has been no arrest in this case, and it still remains unsolved. He is also still considered a missing person. Investigators believe that Madden met with foul play at Sandbar Flat, possibly at the hands of an unknown killer, or even Cary Stayner, who was convicted of murder in the Yosemite area in 1990. But yet there is no proof of anyone's involvement in Madden's case. Madden was a student at the Humboldt State University at the time of his disappearance. Now, his mom died in 2004, and his dad passed away in 2008. Madden was listed as a survivor on his mother's obituary, but his father's obituary notes his son predeceased. His case still remains unsolved, but he is still listed as a missing person. Oh my goodness, that's heartbreaking. Oh my goodness. Okay, next we have Larry Martinez. Now, Larry Martinez has been missing since June 8th, 2022. He's been missing from Kent, Washington. He's an endangered missing male. He's Hispanic, 81 years old. He's 5'5" to 5'6" and weighs 155 pounds. He was last seen wearing a black long sleeve shirt, a black sweater, gray slacks, and black shoes. A photo of Martinez in those clothes are posted in several articles with the case summary. His medical conditions are that he has Alzheimer's disease and may be disoriented. As a result of this condition, he is also hard of hearing and kind of struggles to speak. Oh, God love him. Distinguishing characteristics is he is a Hispanic male, graying black hair, brown eyes. Martinez walks with a limp. The only details of his disappearance are that he is still actively missing. Martinez was last seen leaving through the back door of a Pied Piper pub in the 300th block of West Meeker Street in downtown Kent, Washington at 1:30 p.m. on June 8th of 2022. He didn't have a cellular phone or vehicle with him when he disappeared. He has never been heard from again. Very few details are left available in his case, but he is also still considered an active missing person. This next one is Amanda Jones. This is the Missouri case. Amanda K. Jones. Now, Amanda K. Jones has been missing since 8/14/2005. She's missing from Hillsboro, Missouri. She's an endangered missing female, white. Her date of birth is 10/6/1978. She is 47 years old today, but 36 when she went missing. She was 5'8", around 215 to 225 pounds at that time. She was last seen wearing a pink sleeveless shirt, a pink and white flowered skirt, pink flip flop sandals, and earrings. It is said that Amanda loved the color pink. Jones was 8.5 months pregnant with a boy at the time of her disappearance. She was due to give birth in late August. Now, she also suffers from Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder of the thyroid. Now, her vehicle was a 1997 Pontiac Sunfire, but they did find the car. She's a white female, brown hair, blue eyes. Jones had blonde highlights in her hair at the time of her disappearance. She wears wire-framed eyeglasses or contact lenses. Now, she was wearing contacts on the day she went missing. Her ears are pierced, and she has a tattoo of a dolphin on her left breast. Excuse me. Now, Jones met Brian Lee Westfall at the horse show grounds at Hillsboro Civic Center in the vicinity of the 10,000th block of Highway 21 in Hillsboro, Missouri, and that was on August 14th, 2005. She was last seen in the parking lot at the center at 5 p.m. that same day, but she's never been heard or seen again. Now, Jones' blue 1997 Pontiac Sunfire, was later found unlocked and abandoned in that same parking lot. Her purse was inside the vehicle, but keys, wallet, and cellular phone were missing and have never been seen again. The last time her phone was used was when she took an incoming call at 1:15 p.m. Now, Jones claimed Westfall was the father of her unborn child, a boy whom she planned to name Hayden Lucas. Westfall and Jones had dated briefly after meeting at a party around Christmas of 2004. But their relationship didn't last long, and Westfall didn't hear from her again until February 2005, when she had told him she was pregnant. Now, Westfall stated that he didn't even believe that she was pregnant and that he was the father of her unborn child, and he didn't want to continue the relationship with Jones. Jones told her friend she was considering seeking child support from Westfall. Well, to her demise, that could have been her demise. She met him on the day of the disappearance to find out what role, if any, that he wanted to play in the baby's life. They were supposed to have lunch together off at a restaurant called Off the Hook Restaurant. Now, Westfall had cooperated with the investigation, and he maintains his innocence in Jones' disappearance. He stated he did meet her at the parking lot at the Civic Center at 1 p.m., that they spoke inside their parked cars for around an hour. Then he left somewhere between 4 and 5. Jones was sitting inside her car and talking to someone on her phone, he states, as he left. Now, the Hillsboro Police Department's very skeptical of this story. However, because it was a very hot day, and Jones' car's air conditioning was broken. And because Westfall initially told Jones' mother that they had lunch together and they had this planned, that she wouldn't just sit in a hot car like that. Jones is divorced and left behind a young child who she had custody of from her former husband, and he is not at all considered a suspect in this case. He also has passed away as of November 2007. Now, after his death, their daughter was placed in the care of the maternal grandparents. In October 2021, Jones' family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Westfall. Well, conveniently, he died suddenly of natural causes, quote fingers, in December of that year at 53 years old. Jones' family tried to continue the lawsuit, but in September 2022, it was dismissed. This suit was dismissed without prejudice, meaning it could be refiled, and the attorney repressing Jones' family said he did plan to refile it. Jones was employed as a loan administrator at the Eagle Bank in Festus, Missouri. Now, her loved one stated that it's very uncharacteristic of her to leave without warning. She would never leave her daughter at all. She was what we call a hover mom. There has been no activity on her cellular phone or credit card since her disappearance, and no evidence that she checked into any hospital to deliver her baby boy. Her very last known credit card purchase was at a drugstore. She bought a soda, hairspray before she went missing. Her case still remains unsolved, but she still is considered an active missing. Okay, let's go on to the next. Next, we have Amanda Sue Baker. Amanda Sue Baker has been missing since 10/1/2019. She's missing from Boise County, Idaho. She's a female, white, 29 years old. She's 5'4" and weighs 180 pounds. Her characteristics are that she is a white female, black hair, brown eyes. Baker was last seen in Boise County, Idaho on October 1st, 2019. She has never been heard from again. That's it. That's all they put on here. I guess that is absolutely all the information they have about her. How heartbreaking is that? Please take a good look at these faces as we go through here. I don't want you to look at this as a picture on a screen. Please look at each person as and humanize them, because in all honesty, that could easily be you or I. It's every 40 seconds someone comes up missing. So I mean, honestly, it's as easy as that. That easily could be our loved one. So please humanize each person on these flyers or pictures in this case. Okay, next. Next is Donald Ferry Schaefer. He has been missing since 3/6/1981. He's missing from Dixon City, Pennsylvania. He's an endangered missing male, white. He's 15 years old at the time of his disappearance. Now, he was 6 foot tall, 120 to 130 pounds, so a tall, skinny fella. A dark colored sweatshirt, black jeans, and sneakers, carrying a small tan backpack with the Yellowstone Boys and Girls Ranch logo on it was what he was last seen with. He's a white male, brown hair, brown eyes. Donald's nickname is Don. He may use the alias name Don Ferry, Donnie Frame, or Donnie Thomas. He may have a homemade tattoo on his left arm or left shoulder of a bomb with the letter D inside of it. Now, Donald was last seen in his hometown of Dixon City, Pennsylvania on March 6th. He's never been heard from or ever seen again. He was a chronic runaway child that had spent time at the Yellowstone Boys and Girls Ranch, a residential treatment center for troubled children in Billings, Montana. Several times he would run away, attempting to reach his sister who lived in Wyoming. It is possible he did run away again, and he disappeared in 1981. Now, he does have ties to New Jersey as well as Montana and Wyoming. Donald's family attempted to have him reported missing shortly after 1981, but law enforcement refused to accept a report until 2013. Few details are available in his case. He is still listed as an active missing person. My goodness. Look how young. So sad. Next, we have Jackie Larry Letney. He's been missing since 11/1/1986 from Fairbanks, Alaska. He's a white male. His date of birth is 12/31/1951, so he would be 74 years old today. He was 34 when he went missing. He was 5'8" and 150 pounds at that time. Now, his distinguishing characteristics are that he's a white male, brown hair, brown eyes. Letney may have a mustache. He may have a scar on his forehead. He walks with a limp. His nicknames are Buck, Bucky, and Jack. The details of his disappearance are that Letney was last seen on November 1st, 1986. He had recently moved to Alaska from Zavalia, Texas to seek work and planned to bring his 3 young daughters to stay with him as soon as he got settled. Now, investigators determined that he had crossed the Canadian border, saying he was going back to Texas. He may have attempted to travel to Orange, Texas, but apparently he never arrived, and it's unclear exactly where he went or where he went missing. He was allegedly reported missing in Angelina County, Texas, sometime in 1987, but the record of his report now they cannot find, and it has been lost. Letney has never been heard from again, but we don't want to forget him. Texas authorities are assisting in this investigation into his disappearance. He still is listed as an active missing person, although there is nothing honestly left that they have to prove that he ever went missing. Guys, I just want to thank you for joining me today. I know you could have been anywhere, like I said, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I do realize that this is not my normal 30, 40-minute lives, but it's very important to get some of the old ones out and to never forget them. Each person matters. Every life matters. So before we end this, as I always say, please be kind to one another. Don't take life for granted. Do something nice for a stranger, even if it's a smile. And with all of that, God bless, and thank you for joining me.
In a world that turns too fast, some are lost, left in the past. But we won't let silence win. We'll speak their names again. Voices rising through the dark. Every story leaves a mark. We are the ones who won't forget. The fight for truth is not done yet. We shine the light, we raise the call. For the missing, the broken, we stand tall. For justice, for healing,